Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rezki Darmawan and I'm from 5C class. In this video, I will to share you about my material, and my material is about mixed method design. The term mixed method design refers to an emergent methodology of research that advances the systematic integration or mixing of quantitative and qualitative data within a single investigation or sustained program of inquiry. How did mixed method research develop? The first is validate finding using quantitative and qualitative data search. Evaluators can use a convergent design to compare findings from qualitative and quantitative data search. It involves collecting both types of data at roughly the same time, assessing information using parallel construct for both types of data, separately analyzing both types of data and comparing results. The procedure such as a side-by-side comparison in a discussion, transforming the qualitative data set into quantitative score, or gently displaying both forms of data. Next is use qualitative data to explore quantitative findings. This explanatory sequential design typically involves two phases. The first is an initial quantitative instrument phase, and then the second is a qualitative data collection phase, in which the qualitative phase builds directly on the result from the quantitative phase. In this way, the qualitative results are explained in more detail through the qualitative data. Next is develop survey instruments. Uh, this exploratory sequential design involves for collecting qualitative exploratory data, analyzing the information, and using the finding to develop a psychometric instrument well adapted to the sample under study. This instrument is then in turn administered to a sample of a population. Next is use qualitative data to augment and quantitative outcome study. An outcome study, for example, a randomized control trial with qualitative data collection and analysis added, is called an embedded design within this type of an outcome study. The researcher collects and analyzes both quantitative and qualitative data. Next is involve community-based stakeholders. A community-based participatory approach is an example of multiphase design. This advantageous mixed method approach involves community participants in many quantitative and qualitative ways of research to bring about change. And what are the types of mixed method design? The first is the convergent parallel design. The purpose of a convergent parallel design mixed method design is to simultaneously collect both quantitative and qualitative data, match the data, and use the result to understand a research problem. Next is the explanatory sequential design. An explanatory sequential mixed method design consists of first collecting quantitative data and then collecting qualitative data to help explain or elaborate on the quantitative results. Next, the exploratory sequential design. The purpose of an exploratory sequential method design involves the procedure of first gathering qualitative data to explore a phenomenon and then collecting quantitative data to explain the relationship found in this qualitative data. The next is the embedded design. The purpose of the embedded design is to collect quantitative and qualitative data simultaneously or sequentially, but to have one form of data play a supportive role to the other form of data. The next is the transformative design. The intent of the transformative method design is to use one of the four design: convergent, explanatory, exploratory, or embedded, but to encase the design with a transformative framework or lens. And next is multiphase design. The multiphase design occur when researcher or a term of researcher examine a problem or topic through a series of phases or separate studies. And the next is key characteristic of mixed method research. A major characteristic of mixed method design is a need to justify or provide a rationale for mixing methods. Researchers also collect both quantitative and qualitative data and provide a priority to one form of the data or the other, and there is often sequence collecting both forms of data. Data analysis needs to relate to the type of design, and this analysis may involve such data analysis approaches as transforming data, following up, explaining outlier or extreme cases, or using quantitative terms to develop quantitative instruments. The potential ethical issues in mixed method research. The most discussion has been written about ethical issues in using transformative design, and these issues focus on respecting individuals and underrepresented groups. Ethics in mixed method designs need to relate to important issues arising in both quantitative and qualitative research. Moreover, they can relate to mixed method design because different types of design are specific ethical issues that need to be anticipated by the researcher. What are the steps in conducting a mixed method study? The first is determine if a mixed method study is feasible. The first step in the process is to assess the feasibility of using this design. You need skill in gathering both quantitative and qualitative data. Time to collect extensive information and working knowledge of the different type of design. Next is identify a rationale for mixing methods. The rationale for the four designs should provide a good starting point. Be explicit in this rationale and include it early in your research plan or report. The next is identify a data collection strategy. Identifying your rationale for the study will lead to planning your procedure for collecting data. Next is develop quantitative, qualitative, and mixed method questions. Quantitative questions specify the relationship among independent and dependent variables. Qualitative questions are open-ended and non-directional in nature and seek to describe the phenomenon. Next is collect quantitative and qualitative data. Collecting data in a mixed method study follow rigorous quantitative procedure and persuasive qualitative procedure. For a mixed method study, the sequence in which you collect the data will all depend on the type of design. Next is analyze the data separately, concurrently, or both. The data analysis will also relate to the specific type of mixed method design you are using. You can analyze quantitative data separately from qualitative data as in the explanatory and exploratory design, or integrate the data analysis as in the convergent design. Next is write the report as a one or two page study or multi-page study. The final step in a mixed method study is to write a exploratory report of the project. And How do you evaluate a mixed method study? The first is describe the mixed method is the best approach to answer the researcher question because neither qualitative nor quantitative is adequate as an approach. The next is incorporates both qualitative and quantitative data collection and analysis. The next is explicitly combine or mix the two data sets. The next is use rigorous quantitative and persuasive qualitative procedure of data collection and analysis. The next is frame the study with one of the mixed method research design. And the next is provide a diagram of the procedure to clarify the timing, priority, and mix within the study. And the last is signal to the reader that the study is using this method to indicate the awareness of this research design. Okay, I think that's all. I'm sorry for my mistakes. Thank you for attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.